Good evening. Welcome to the Falls Township Board of Supervisors meeting, Monday, January 22nd, 2024. We'll begin with the salute to the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Galloway, can you call the roll, please?
Yes. Jeff BORASKI. John Palmer.
Here.
Aaron Mullen.
Here.
Jeff DENCE.
Here.
And of course, I am here.
All right, before we start, we have, I think, Chief Whitney is going to make a presentation tonight. We're recognizing Officer Sergeant Ray FANNELLI for 25 years on the SWAT team.
Thank you. So to be part of a SWAT team is to make a commitment, not just to the initial training, but to dedicating yourself to be honed as a critical thinker and a complex problem solver. And it's more than just the academics. There's a physical component that could be quite taxing, as you might imagine. And the commitment to be on a SWAT team is making a commitment to truly be an occupational athlete. So that's a lot. That's time off that you're not necessarily getting paid for. You got to hit the gym. You have to watch your nutrition. And the man standing to my left has done that for 25 years. So Ray, congratulations.
Can you get a picture?
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah. Want to just stand up here or get out?
Yeah. Are these guys all SWAT members? Bring them all up. Congratulations. Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Should we go down there?
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should go down. Ready? All right, thank you.
All right, start for public comment. We only have one name, Tony Batiste.
Hi. Since I didn't find anything on the township website today regarding the bills for tonight, I was wondering what are the hours that are being billed to us by the police overseer that was hired before the public vote, and I forget his name. And are there dates and times for these bills?
For who?
The guy who's overseeing the police department. You know, the one that you guys voted on after the fact?
Are you talking about our Human Resources Director?
Yeah.
He's not overseeing any police department.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from.
Well, that's what was published.
Where?
The Courier Times.
Oh, well, there's your reason. That's, you know, how accurate is that?
Questionable.
He's a salary employee.
Oh, he is salaried now.
He always was.
No, I thought he was the one that's also working for Bucks County Sheriff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Oh, he doesn't work for us anymore. He hasn't done work for us in a while, and since early last year.
Okay, I will go back and look at that, but I think there's a problem here. Number two, will the development in Falls be affected by the issues of the sewer links, the Neshaminy sewer link?
Not that I'm aware of any that are an issue.
Because Falls was listed as one of the townships that would be
Yeah,
affected.
I'm not aware of any that are going to be affected.
Okay. And does Falls review the donations made to people who are running for offices in Falls Township?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? All right, that takes us to item 2. preliminary and final land development, 9169 Mill Creek Road. Try again.
Try again, yes. New.
All of our professionals called in sick last month.
Well, I'm a pinch hitter too.
Yeah.
Frank Dillon on behalf of the applicant, Heath Dumack from Dumack Engineering. I think everybody's familiar with the project. 9169 Mill Creek Road, proposal for 1,000 square foot addition to the restaurant and a 2,173 square foot addition to the auto repair shop. There is a resolution was prepared by the solicitor's office. I assume that's acceptable to us. I can review each of the waivers being requested if you want. I suggest they're minor, whatever you wish.
That's necessary. You want to hear all the waivers, or are we good?
I have the waivers.
Yeah. Any questions from board members? Mr. Galloway?
No, no questions.
Ms. Mullen?
No question.
Mr. Palmer?
Well, I always have a problem with the street trees. Yes, can you explain why you're asking for a waiver of the street trees?
Sorry about that.
Don't break that, because that's not ours.
They're lending it to us.
Basically, because the area of disturbance along the frontage, we don't have enough space within the right-of-way for street trees, and the building itself is so close to the road that street trees were not recommended by our landscape architect.
Yeah, there is no sidewalk on that area, right?
Yeah.
Just, you're right over the curb.
That's it?
Any
Okay,
public
we-
comment needed? No hands? All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? All right.
Thank you.
2024-2.
Yeah, resolution 2024-2.
Two.
Yeah. That takes us to item 3, consideration of a proposal, excuse me, from FX Brown for Act 101 recycling grant.
Good evening. FX Brown prepares annually our Act 101 Recycling Program Performance Grant. They gather the information from all entities in the township on their recycling data and report the information for a recycling program performance grant. The cost of this proposal is $6,000. It's a $500 increase over last year's price, but our last grant did net us $108,141.54. So we get a great return on this investment.
Excellent. And we've been doing this for quite a while, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions from Ms. Rukoff?
No, no questions.
Mr. Palmer?
No question.
Any public comment? No? All right, thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4, consideration of proposal from Keystone Sports Construction for pickleball courts installation project. I know pickleball has gotten very, very popular in our area, I guess everywhere, not just our area.
Extremely popular. We've been, my counterpart here in Middletown, ironically, and Lower Makefield's been begging us for years to add courts because they can't keep, courts are just full over there. So, we've been, over the years, looking at a suitable location. You have to be really careful where you put them. It could be very loud if you're around residential neighborhoods. So
It's loud?
it could be very loud. Yes. Believe me, it's like it's like a paddle ball. And
Excuse me.
so we came across a spot down at Quaker Penn Park, part of our field down there. It's out of the way. I think it'll be a great addition to that park, kind of going along what we've done over the last several years, adding the playground in there, the bathroom facility, the ball field, the boat ramp, kind of keep making that more of an attraction. So this was a 2023 project that got kind of pushed back. We had gotten 3 initial quotes early in 2023, took it to the engineer's office. We did some tweaking to the proposal, sent it back out, heard back from one of the 3. contractors who come highly recommended by Lower Makefield and Percy Borough. And you're here to consider them tonight to award the project. It's for 4 pickleball courts fenced in.
And what is the difference between a pickleball court and a, say, tennis court?
It's smaller. Pickleball is typically a game, it's usually played in doubles. It's a smaller court, and it's for people that probably can't cover a tennis court anymore. It's, you know, you don't have to do as much running. It's very popular. Even, you know, the young kids are playing it too. It's been booming everywhere.
And what is the total cost of this?
It's $294 and some change.
We budgeted for this last year, right?
We did, and it's been rolled over to this year, and we had the budgeted money for it. And it'll be through PA Coast Guards, and the solicitor's office is vetting that right now. So.
The total amount,
No, no questions.
Mr. Chairman, just for the record, the total amount is $294,407.02.
2 cents.
Correct.
Add the
Brian, I'm thinking further
on it.
down the road here. Have you given any thought as, will it just be first come, first served? Will there be like a reservation process or? membership? It's on.
Microphone.
Is on.
Sorry.
At first, we will go first come, first serve, but I do anticipate having to do some reservations
So
with
do
our new
I.
with our new software that we've instituted. That's going to be a great fit for it. Plus, we can run some organized programming with that too. Maybe some leagues and stuff like that. So I think the possibilities are endless. The problem will be where can we put more courts, and that'll be the next request from the resident. I've gotten, since I've been here, requests to put pickleball courts in.
Is
We
there
haven't-
room there for expansion?
If we go more into the field, area, which I'm kind of hesitant, the 4 courts won't take up much because we do have football down there. We do have a couple groups that use that, but we could probably, if we wanted to, take some more field space down there.
So where exactly is this going? Towards the river, between the river and?
No, you know where the playground is? As you're
new
driving
one,
in
yeah.
there on the left-hand side in that corner where the batting cage, which will come out,
Yeah.
it'll be kind of boxed in over
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Cool. Mr. Palmer?
yes.
Any public comment needed? No? All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right. $294,407.02. Mr. Galloway, can you pull the board?
John Palmer, Aaron Mullen,
Yes.
Jeff Dance.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right,
All
thank
right,
you.
thank you.
I'd say we should start our own pickleball team, but we did that with kickball one year, and that was a terrible idea.
I didn't come out for that. So,
Consideration of vehicle purchases for the Public Works Department. Mr. Lawson.
Good evening. This year we put in for a few trucks to get replaced. This is one of them. We actually put in for an F-350 to be replaced. This is an F-250. So with talking with the representative from Ford, with the 10,300 gross vehicle weight package on the F-250, it's the same payload as an F-350. It's like 360 pounds difference. But we're saving $4,000. So instead of getting a bigger model, we're going with the smaller model that'll hold the same payload for $4,000 cheaper. So we did some savings there.
Okay. $58,780.
Yeah, and once we buy
budgeted
the dumper for it and the light package, the lights that we're going to put on it will be around $65,780.
But we're not doing that tonight.
No, we'll buy that. You're buying a truck tonight.
Just
and
the
then we'll-
$58,780.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. Galloway?
no questions.
Ms. Mullen? Mr. Palmer?
Yeah, is this just a chassis or is this a bed too?
No, it's a whole truck, bed and all.
Not a utility body, right?
It's not a utility body, no.
Any public comment needed? No hands. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Galloway, can you pull the board?
John Palmer.
Yes.
Aaron Mullen,
Yes.
Jeff Dance.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Number 6 is Mr. Lawson again. Consideration of equipment purchase for the Public Works Department.
So this part is the equipment that we were going to purchase. It'll be 3 grass mowers and 1 backhoe. The grass mowers we got because we did getting the quotes for the budget in August and September. They did go up a couple $100. So the laser marks are now $10,644. They went up $103 per one. And then the 144 laser diesel cutter was $63,000. This went up $1,490. So we're about $1,200 over with purchasing this equipment.
All right, what's the total amount here then? Is that on here?
It'll be $85,778.70.
And then we also have the John Deere backhoe.
Yes. So with the John Deere backhoe, again, talking with the sales rep, the things that we wanted for a John Deere 310X, if we went up one model, then we would get all them as a standard equipment, and we ended up saving $25,500 on that piece of equipment.
All right.
So are we voting on these separately, or?
I guess we're going to do these separate, Mr. Clark, or together? All right. Any questions from board members?
No.
No.
Any public comment needed? All right, the first one is for the three mowers, $85,778.70. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Galloway, can you pull the board?
John Palmer.
Yes.
Aaron Mullen.
Yes.
Jeff Dance.
Yes.
I vote yes.
That's a 144-inch wide mower? That's how big that mows?
Yeah, the flails will fold down to 144 inches.
It's amazing.
So that'll assist us cutting the big soccer fields and that with the Toro that we have.
Okay. And then we have the John Deere backhoe loader for $174,500. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Galloway?
John Palmer.
Yes.
Aaron Mullen.
Yes.
Jeff Dance.
Yes.
I vote yes.
All right. We have item 7, consideration of a resolution amending the 2024 fee schedule for the Code Enforcement, Finance, Parks and Rec Department. Mr. Takita, any highlights here? We're just updating our fees.
The major changes are to the Parks and Rec fee schedule. There are no changes to Code Enforcement or Finance fee schedule.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Takita?
No.
Just when was the last time we increased the code fee schedule?
Code Department was increased. We did make some increases last year.
Okay.
Yeah, we are proposing to make some additional increases, but I want to evaluate it. We weren't prepared for it at
Okay.
this time.
Mr. Palmer?
I'm good.
Any public comment needed? See no hands. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And this is Resolution 2024-3. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Item 8, consideration of appointment for Barry Izzett and Associates for UCC Inspector and Plan Examiner for 2024. He's been doing it for a couple of years now, since Remington Vernick retired from the business, and I assume Mr. Takita's happy with him. The rate stayed the same, $120 an hour. Any questions, Mr. Galloway?
No.
Ms.
No
Mullen,
questions.
Mr. Palmer? No questions. I have none. Any public comment? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
And number 9, Mr. Clark, we're ratifying an application for Pennsbury School District requesting assistance from Falls Township to apply for the Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program granting. Can you explain exactly what we did here?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Dents. The Redevelopment Assistance Capital Grant Program, otherwise known as an RCAP grant, is issued by the state. Pennsbury will be the beneficiary. Whenever an entity is applying for one of these grants, they need a local municipality to sign off on the grant. There is no cost to the township. There is no liability for the township. But in order to be eligible for this grant, Pennsbury needs to have a local sponsor. Pennsbury got the information over to us after our last meeting in December, and they had a deadline of, I believe it was the 12th, when they had to have the documents submitted to the state in order for this grant. The board was polled. The board agreed to approving to be the local sponsor, and now we are ratifying that action.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
None.
It's pretty straightforward.
No.
Any public comment needed? None? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 10, consideration of proposal from Remington and Vernick Engineers to complete additional field location and GIS mapping and provide field survey location services associated with GIS sanitary, water, and stormwater utility infrastructure mapping for the remainder of Township, Phase 3, Zones 1 through 7. Mr. Takita, you want to give us a quick explanation of what that is?
So Remington Vernick is working on all our sanitary, water and stormwater utility infrastructure mapping. Through the course of phases 1 through 2, they ran across some unforeseen or unanticipated issues with access and data collection. So what they revised their proposal with a not-to-exceed figure of $75,000 to complete the rest of this work. And this would close out the project.
All right, pretty straightforward. Any questions from board members?
None.
No.
None. Any public comment needed? None? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 11, consideration of updated proposal from Lero for the municipal building renovation project for AV services. I think it was an oversight that the back boxes weren't included, or something along those lines?
That's correct.
Yeah. This is in the total amount of $1,467. Any questions, board members?
No.
No
Mr.
questions.
Mullen, Mr. Palmer? Public comment? None? Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Galloway, can you pull the board?
John Palmer.
Yes.
Aaron Mullen.
Yes.
Jeff Dance.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right, item 12 and 13 is first the fire marshal's year-end report, next the police department year-end report. I told them both before the meeting that we're adopting the gong show format, so if they go a little bit too long, I might just bang the gavel.
I made the promise. It
Go
won't
ahead.
be more than 10 minutes. And if there's anything wrong with the proposal, I just want you to know John
I'm
Weiss
running.
did it. So, all right, good evening. This is the 23 Annual Fire Marshal's Report. The department consists, it's been this way for several years now, of 5 full-time employees, including myself as Director of Emergency Services and Fire Marshal. We have a department clerk and 3 fire inspector and firefighters. The director, as director, I conduct fire investigations for origin and cause. We actually had one this morning around 9:30. Plan reviews for new fire protection systems and life safety. I act as the emergency management coordinator, supervise of the fire marshal staff. I prepare the budget for the department and respond to fire calls during the day. And also, we all have to keep up our training to maintain our certifications. The fire inspectors and firefighters, they obviously do fire inspections all day. They're also firefighters and they respond to calls. Today, the guys who were working happened to be there pretty quickly, although it was a substantial fire. They were there very quick because we were out on the road. We inspect every business, hospital, hotel, motel, school, daycare for life safety compliance. We follow up on all fire calls from the night before, and they assist with the emergency management planning, and they also have to attend training to maintain their certifications. For 23, we did 33 fire investigations, different large-scale fires. Oh, just while I'm at it, the pictures you'll see are also real photos. This was just a fire we had New Year's Eve. The annual inspections, like I said, we inspect every business in town and every high hazard. This is also a real picture of some of the things we encounter when you go into a business doing an inspection. That's a blocked exit door. For the year, we did 1,228 fire inspections, which encompassed about over 20 million square feet of business. That's a 7.5% increase from 22. Again, that's another real picture of something we see when we go out and do inspections. This graph just shows the last 5 years of fire inspections. You can see it's gone up every year. And in 23, we actually found another 36 businesses that were operating without proper UNOs. They didn't have the proper permits or building business license. The fire company, or the during the day, we supplement the volunteers when volunteerism is probably at its lowest. Collectively, we responded in 23 to 643 fire calls. This again is an actual fire that we had in Falls Township right around dinner time. These are some of the types of fires that or calls that we respond to. Structure fires, vehicle rescues, medical vehicles, we run the gamut. Anything you can imagine, we'll respond to. This is for the, over the last 6 years, the amount of calls that we collectively ran. As you can see, it's gotten quite a bit higher. A lot of that's due to more mutual aid being requested from other companies because manpower is really light during the day. There's more businesses in town, so obviously with that comes more calls, and we also run more EMS calls. Again, another picture of something we dealt with during the day. This is a graph that shows the 3 fire companies in town, the 3 volunteer fire companies, and the amount of calls that they responded to during the year. Falls, as you can see, ran 764 calls, Farrell 630, and Middletown 1 did 382. Total was 1,776 calls in the year. That's a ton for volunteer fire companies. It was about a 2% increase from the year before. We also have public works employees that are firemen that are, if they're able, they'll respond to the call. If they're not paving or doing something, they can't stop. Currently, we have 4 public works employees that can respond. As mentioned, in 23, we did 258 follow-ups from calls from the night before to make sure that everything, the alarm systems are back up and everything's in the proper position. These are real pictures of things we saw when we go back out. Somebody had a smoke detector hang and a pool box that was down. When we do fire alarm inspections, it normally takes 2 inspections, a rough, which confirms that it was installed based on the plans, and we also do a final to make sure that the system activates and works properly. Sprinkler system, same thing, although we do 3. We do a rough, we do a hydrostat test to make sure it holds pressure before they put water in it, and we also do a final to make sure that it activates and that it activates the alarm system. The fire protection systems, from one year to the next, you can see the different types of call or inspections we did. We've gone up from 63 in 2022 to 209 in 23, an increase of 232%. The majority of that is due to the new construction going on down at North Point. We also do other types of inspections. We don't just do fire inspections. We'll follow up on complaints from residents, chimney liners, anything that may come up that we're requested to go out to. We just got a call from dumped barrels along the side of the road. We did 101 of those in 23. Re-inspections, as you can imagine, most places normally take a second inspection. There'll be something wrong, we have to come back. In 23, we did 1,202 re-inspections, so it's almost 1 for 1. It's almost every one we have to make a follow-up trip. We also do incident planning. A few years ago, we were able to get some pre-planned software that we got through a grant. The fire inspectors do that. They mainly go out and do the pre-plan, and it normally takes all 3 inspectors, so it could take a whole day to do one building. where they go out and they'll document every part of that building, where all the shutoffs are, the layouts, and this information can be shared with the 3 volunteer fire companies. So if you pull up on a major event, it gives you a head start on what you're dealing with. For emergency management, we try and help the town, or we try and help plan for any kind of anticipated hazard we may come across and take the measures that would be needed to handle them. The fire inspectors help with all the pre-planning of these events. In 23, we were lucky we didn't have any major events, or major disasters, I should say. Although we did oversee a lot of large gatherings. We went to the PHS prom, we went to Touch Truck, the beer garden, the Family Fest, and we don't just go there. I'll create an incident action plan that's shared with all the responders that are going to be on site, so everybody's on the same page on how we're going to react in the unfortunate if we have an accident or some kind of emergency comes up. We strategically place each other or everyone around the property so we can quickly get to anything that may come up. Fire prevention, we do a lot of that. We do the smoke trailer, we do ALICE training, we do fire extinguisher training, we do safety training for adults and kids. We also visit every school and every daycare to observe their fire drills yearly. And we also do smoke detector installation, which comes free to the residents. The trailer, which we've had for over 20 years, I guess, we use that a lot. It's a simulated smoke that teaches kids how smoke really reacts, but it's non-hazardous. So they can crawl through and they see how smoke drops, and we teach them to get low and go, to crawl, get under the smoke, and get out a window. This was a picture when we do some real live fire extinguisher training. We were invited to attend the Youth Police Academy this year, and we worked with the students there doing real fire extinguisher training. We also do that for any business that'll request it. As I mentioned, fire prevention. This picture, we were invited to come to one of the elementary schools. We brought the smoke trailer, we brought an engine or a rescue, showed the kids the equipment, let them crawl through the smoke trailer. And for the year, we did 17 trainings at 17 schools, daycares, and businesses. We continued the smoke detector program. We went to 27 places this year, and we either replaced 56 smoke detectors and either installed them, replaced them, or replaced batteries. 27 locations, 56 different smoke detectors. For the 4th year now, we've been running our food drive. It's something I started 4 years ago. The board was gracious enough to let me run with it. It was one of the thoughts I had, that people are hungry all year, not just at the holidays when it seems like it's a feel-good thing. For the year, we did about 22 deliveries to 3 or 4, depending on who needed it, our food pantries, and we took over 5,000 pounds of food. That's a ton. This is a picture of Waste Management partnered with us around Thanksgiving, and they did it in their locations, and I think this load alone was over 800 pounds that we took to one of the food banks, and they couldn't have been happier. They said they were at rock bottom. They had nothing left when we showed up with this load. The department revenue, we've never been a department trying to make a profit, but for this year, we ended up bringing in $515,200, which was a 62% increase from the year before. We did $318,000 in 22. The funds obviously help supplement the department and the payroll. It's one of those things, I guess most of it was due to the North Point development. Most of the increase is the best I can gather. Some of the accomplishments we accomplished, well, that's redundant, but some of the things we accomplished this year, we replaced some outdated gear that we had so the guys have the best equipment. They're not going to get hurt. We all obtained the Fire Plans Review 1 and 2 certifications. We had a third party come in and teach that and keep our training and certifications up. We repurposed an old vehicle to make it our emergency management and fire investigative unit. We went to one of our senior living places, and we would go there, it had to be 80 times a year. We worked with them to reprogram and do some procedural changes at Galilee, and we've greatly reduced it so we don't have the boy who cried wolf syndrome. And as I mentioned, we did our food drive for the 4th year. This is just a total of the different things we ran. I've gone through it in the different slides, but for the total, we did 3,724 different inspections, re-inspections, fire calls, follow-ups, etc. And that's all I have. It's under 10 minutes, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
I know I make jokes, but an excellent report, Rich. You know, I know your department's very well run and very busy, apparently, obviously. So thank you for that. Any
Thank you.
board members, anything else?
No, great report, Rich. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great work.
Nothing? Yeah, it was a busy day today, so thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Rich.
That takes us to the police department year-end report. Chief Whitney.
Is that right there?
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Don't worry, I'll get you through this presentation without too much of a delay here. See if I could beat Rich. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about our goals for 2024, a year review. Now, we've done so much in terms of community-focused policing this year that there's no way I could hit upon every single event that we've done, but I'll hit the highlights for everyone. We'll have some employee updates, some year-end stats, and then a look ahead to what we can expect in the first quarter of 2024. So our goals in 2024 are to be focused on proactivity in addressing traffic issues, drug issues, and mental health issues in our community. Our year in review. So one of the new things we rolled out this year was the Adopt a Cop program. It's been an outstanding program that's been embraced by students and staff. It's really a pleasure to walk through our schools. Some of them, you would have thought we were bringing in sports figures to meet the kids. They conducted assemblies. It increases our presence at our schools, which I think is vitally important for our continued partnership with the Pennsbury School District. So Middletown's been a great partner to us. The Middletown Police Department has always been a great neighbor to the Falls Township Police Department. And for years, they've hosted and sponsored a Shop with a Cop program. They invited us to participate with them. I'd like to thank our businesses throughout the township. They donated a total of $2,250 towards toys to help our children. We're getting an increased number of children from Falls Township involved in the Shop with a Cop program, so it was our pleasure to be part of that with our partners here in Middletown Township Police. So Coffee with a Cop, we've been to different locations in the township, but I'm sure everybody here knows this. We have a fantastic senior center here in Falls Township. If you're ever having a bad day and you want to feel uplifted, go to the senior center. They're just such a great group of people. They are excited whenever we come with our Coffee with a Cop. It's without a doubt, the most well-attended Coffee with a Cop we have anywhere in Falls Township. We have one coming up this Friday, if anybody wants to make it who is listening at home or here with me in the meeting room tonight. And Color Me Mine has formed a great relationship with us the last 2 years in 2022 and 2023. They're a very cute little shop up at the Oxford Valley Mall. It's a great way to engage with children and families to create artwork that they get to make and kind of bake, and it comes out really looking, fantastic. They're very nice projects, and we, in partnering with them, supported the Family Service Association, and our co-responders, Kara and Ann, were happy to deliver all of the gifts that were made this year in our Color Me Mine partnership. Our Youth Police Academy is a 10-day program every summer. We run it from the middle of July to the end of July. It is not at cost to our youth. This year we graduated 26 cadets. The fact that most of those shirts are blue, most of them were new cadets. We had a group that stayed with us for 3 and 4 years, sometimes longer, but they graduated and they're on to, pursuing college educations and careers. So it was a great program and it was a lot of fun. We also had a intern with us, John Hanzerak. John helped us at the Youth Academy, but also did projects inside the building for us and spent some time on patrol with our officers. Very nice young man. We wish John a successful future. Hopefully, John, if you're listening, we have openings you can apply, and we'll be happy to evaluate you as a candidate. One of the things that I think is really important for us in the Falls Township Police Department is to continue engaging the community in important conversations in law enforcement. Earlier this year, up at the Bucks County Community College, they had Martin Luther King Jr. Dream Builder Awards. My wife and I went up there to support Karen Downer. If you've ever worked with Karen Downer, she's our Bucks County NAACP president. She's a fantastic person. She works very hard. She's a very good person, and she's been a great partner to me. So we went there to support her. Hoagies for Heroes. So this was a fun event. That amazing Wawa that opened up on Lincoln Highway. It was nice to have a board member there with us. We appreciated that. We did our best to beat the Fire Guys, but we ended up in a tie. So Wawa was generous enough to donate $1,000 to the charity of our choice. We selected the Advocates for Homeless and Those in Need, which is a faith-based organization run by Penny and Joe Martin out of a church in Fallsington. We're fortunate to have such good people in our community that are dedicated to helping the less fortunate members of our community that have housing and food insecurity. So Wawa was generously donating $1,000 to them. And then although we made a whole bunch of hoagies, and cops are always hungry, we had our co-responder Kara bring the hoagies over to the shelter Family Service Association run, so that people there had some food from Wawa. So that was a nice day. Take Back Day. So Drug Take Back, we do that every year. This time there was a celebration up at the county courthouse. It was a pleasure to be up there with our co-responders and our Human Services Division people at the county. It was a well-attended event, and it's an important thing to get those drugs out of the community so that it keeps people safe. Our Girl Scout troop, 2552, has formed an outstanding relationship with us. They are so kind. They've brought us cookies. I can't tell you how many times. I could have 8 slides just on them. Our detective bureau, Detective Small and McPherson, helped them get their detective's badge, and then they invited us to a car wash, so we went to their fundraiser car wash with them. They're just a fun group of people, and it's always a pleasure to have them work with us and come visit us at headquarters. So one of our things is mental health and behavioral health. I think the whole planet has been struggling with this since the pandemic. And it's important for us to look outside the traditional role of law enforcement and realize that we all play a role in the community of helping pull each other up. When people are struggling, we can all lend a hand and help. And we've been expanding with our Human Services Division partners at the county. We've been working hard in the police department to expand our reach and try to help as many people as we can. That continues to be a theme, and I think it's really an important theme. We can't arrest our way out of everything in law enforcement, and I think we know that here in Falls Township and around the country. So it was nice to be at the symposium. It was a very educational experience, and we've taken some of the ideas back with us and started new programs here. Along those lines, it was great for myself and Kara, our co-responder, to be invited to be part of a panel at Delaware Valley University. We talked a lot about the things that we do here in Falls Township to help people. A lot of people there shared their stories. It was a great event, and it's something that we'll continue to be involved with here in the Falls Township Police Department. So it's not like the old days when everybody wanted to be a cop and 800 people applied. Nationwide, we're seeing an issue with recruitment in law enforcement. So we're partnering with local job fairs. This particular one was Officer Matkowski and myself at Holy Family. Holy Family is building a partnership with us on several different endeavors, including us going to job fairs and trying to attract people to law enforcement. Law enforcement is a great career for young people. It doesn't have to be people who are only interested in criminal justice as a major. We hire people with diverse backgrounds and diverse educations. Everybody can really enjoy a very rewarding career in law enforcement, even if you're not a major in criminal justice or pre-law. So we made that speech to a lot of people that day. I was happy to be invited to Senator Santasario's Scam Jam at our senior center. It was a well-attended event, like everything at our senior center, and it's important for us to try to help people from becoming crime victims. It was a great event, and hopefully we help people avoid a lot of the scams that are out there today. One of the most important things I think we do here in our police department is we uniquely have an outreach program where we train members of the community, groups in the community, of what it is, what it looks like leading up to an active shooter, active killer event. These events take place throughout the United States. They're horrible events. One of my biggest fears is something like that happening here. So you don't just want to wait for something like that to happen. We train for it, and we train a lot for it. But the real way to prevent it is to educate everybody of what it looks like when somebody is on the pathway to violence. This particular day I spent presenting to Weldon Medals. I've done this for different companies in town. I've done it for the community college. I've done it several times for the Pennsbury School District. If anybody watches this on television and wants me to come, there's no charge for this. It's about an hour, and it is the kind of training that will undoubtedly save lives, without a doubt. Our relationship with the Bucks County Community College has been fantastic. We do major case presentations there. We also do recruiting presentations and things like Pathway to Violence. But the students in their criminal justice and sociology curriculum are usually interested in hearing real-life stories about major cases. So in this particular instance, Lieutenant Clark and myself went up there and presented a stalking case that we worked years ago, so that the students can see how a local police department can work a major case. So some employee updates. We had 11 promotions in 2023. So you always remember two dates in law enforcement. You remember the day you were hired and the day you were promoted. Those are great days, and congratulations to all the officers that were promoted in 2023. We also brought on 3 new officers in 2023, Mark Stillman, Scott Hall, and Robert Evangelista. Stillman and Hall went to the Reading Police Academy, which was a long drive both ways. It was the only academy that we could match them up with. But they graduated with honors. Officer Evangelista graduated our field training program. He was already certified, and all 3 are out there. Stillman and Hall are still in field training, but Evangelista is out there working day shift for us. So welcome aboard. We had 3 retirements in 2023. Jerry Piasecki, Kathy Kaufman, and Lieutenant Henry Ward. There's probably a total of 40, 80, over 100 years of law enforcement experience on that page that retired. So we wish them all good luck in retirement. And we mentioned Ray. It is truly a lot of hard work to spend a quarter of a century on a SWAT team. So once again, congratulations, Sergeant Fanelli. Our longtime magisterial district judge retired. So it's a changing of the guard at District Court 10. We saw her off with the retirement party, and we welcome our new judge, Judge Galloway. Just a few stats. We're almost there. So overdoses. So thankfully, our overdose rate continues to drop. We had less than 40 overdoses in 2023, which is a number, we haven't seen a number that low since I think maybe 2012. Any overdose is a cause for concern for us. Any fatal overdose is a tragedy. We continue to work with our co-responder, Ann, in the community in dealing with this as an issue where we can try to connect people with treatment and help people. We also aggressively target people who deal drugs. But I'm happy to report that those numbers continue to decline. Calls for service, we had just a little under 19,500 calls for service in 2023. You can see the up and down over the last several years. The low point there was 2020. Last year was also a low point year. I'm not sure what to attribute 2022 to, rather. I'll have to look into that a little bit further. Crashes are the one thing that stay pretty fixed for us. We get somewhere in the neighborhood of between 1,100 and 1,200 crashes every year in Falls Township. Those are our final truck enforcement figures for the year. Sergeant Colleen does a good job for us. He's out there, kind of a one-man attack crew on commercial vehicle inspections. And just briefly a look ahead. So we made traffic safety a priority in 2024. We started a traffic safety unit. Right now it's occupied by Sergeant Fanelli. Sergeant Fanelli has a background in this in the Army. He worked in a traffic safety unit. The thing that is now killing our citizens in Falls Township more frequently than anything else are traffic crashes. That had been the case, both here and nationwide, for decades until the opioid epidemic hit the country. And then for a period of years, the overdose deaths eclipsed our traffic crash deaths. But this is every traffic crash death is a tragedy that can be avoided. We're absolutely making this a priority. We're using data analysis to target areas where crashes take place. We're going to target enforcement at the type of violations that lead to crashes. We will grow this unit over time as we need to. We're participating in aggressive driving wave grants funded by PennDOT to get some reimbursement for some of the stuff that we do on overtime with respect to this, but it is absolutely a priority for us. I was invited to work with one of our county commissioners, Commissioner Marseglia, and our Bucks County Human Services Division personnel in the Peace Center for slightly over a $500,000 grant that they got from the Department of Justice. It was nice to be invited to kind of help plan what kind of programs we can create both inside and outside Falls Township. It is a county-wide grant that was obtained by the county, but it was fun, candidly, to be involved in helping them plan some nice events for the community and some small block grants that could be received by different police departments to engage the community. So it won't just be us. We're encouraging other departments to do things new in community engagement. And our department anniversary is coming up. So you may have noticed if you follow our Facebook that on Thursdays we've been putting some old newspaper articles that we got from an archive from the 50s that are designed in part to expose the current community to our first police chief, Franklin Kirby. Franklin Kirby was hired as a police officer and became the first police chief, the chief of himself, in 1950. His house was next to our old headquarters in Fallsington. Before they built headquarters, he ran calls for service out of his house. He was police chief for 25 years, and in 2025, we'll be celebrating our 75th anniversary. So to that end, we would like to rehabilitate Franklin Kirby Park as Chief Franklin Kirby Park, and between now and then, we'll announce some fundraising efforts and some community engagement, but through our Throwback Thursday posts, people can see Chief Kirby and maybe get to know him a little bit. I never met Chief Kirby. He wasn't here when I got hired. But I've met people who knew him and his wife. His wife was a school teacher. Everybody said he was a very kind man. And he certainly built a police department at a time that this township, our township, went from a resident population of about 2,000 people to almost 30,000 people by the end of the 1950s with the construction of the steel mill. So he oversaw a lot of growth. And from reading the old articles, they had just as many problems with traffic crashes back then as we do now. Apparently, this problem's been with us forever. So we'll continue to do our best to solve that problem. And that's my presentation for this evening. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Excellent presentation. I know in past years that the old on Route 1 Superhighway, the split was a major accident spot. I know that's been fixed. Is that still? We don't really have many accidents there anymore?
No, they did a nice job. So.
Yeah.
You know, there's three ways to deal with traffic problems, right? Engineering, enforcement, and education. The PennDOT did a great job looking at that intersection and placing dividers up so people can't cut over at that Route 32 split like they used to. It used to be a nightmare for us. They engineered a good solution. We don't see those crashes like we used to.
Is there a hot spot, a new hot spot, or is it just all over Falls Township?
You know what? The new hot spot is one we're looking at in Pine Grove in West Trenton. We've had some serious crashes there. And we get more crashes there than you would think would happen. So we're looking into what that is, what's causing that. We're actually working with our traffic engineer to see if there's an engineering solution to that.
Is that entire intersection Falls Township?
It's right around the corner. It's right there at that intersection by the Wawa.
Right. No, I mean, is that entire intersection Falls Township, all four corners?
I think the corner facing Lower Makefield is Lower Makefield's, but I'd have to check. But we keep getting the crashes.
Any questions for Chief Whitney, Mr. Galloway?
No, excellent report. Thank you, Chief.
Ms. Mullen?
Same here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any public comment? No?
See, that was 5 minutes.
Thank you,
I don't know what Rich is talking about. That was clearly a 5-minute report. Thank you.
All right, that takes us to board appointments. So this is something new. The law changed, and we have to advertise. We can't just have a blanket advertisement. We're going to do board appointments. We have to advertise each one. So we have a bunch of the next 14 through 24. So is there any appointments to the Cable Advisory Board? No? All right. How about the Disabled Persons Advisory Board? Sixteen is the Environmental Advisory Board.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to appoint Suzanne Sabo.
All right. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'd also like to move to appoint Jonathan Mandarak.
All right. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is any public comment made on these appointments? If there are, just throw your hands up. Thank you. Any more? Item 17, the Historical Architectural Board. The Historical Preservation Commission. Neighborhood Traffic Advisory Committee. Parks and Rec Board. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Tim Watkins to the Parks and Rec Board.
Seconded.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any public comment? No hands. Item 21, the Planning Commission? No? Item 22?
I'm sorry, I will move to reappoint John Haney.
All right, that's Resolution 2024-4. I'll second that. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Police Pension Committee? I'm going to make a motion to reappoint Bill Kiernan to the Township of, oh no, I apologize. I'm at the TOFA right now. Correct. So, on number 23, Township of Falls Authority, I'm going to make a motion to appoint Laney Strelick. This is
Second.
Resolution 2024-5.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 24, I'm going to make a motion to reappoint Bill Kiernan to the Zoning Hearing Board. This will be 2024-6.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and that's all for now. That takes us to item 25, consideration of donation requests for the American Legion Post Memorial Day Parade, Bucks County St. Patrick's Day Parade, Delaware Valley Vietnam Veterans Memorial, Historic Fallston Day, Levittown Continental Little League, Fairless Hills Athletic Association Little League, the Falls Soccer Club, the Bucks County Tour of Honor, and Townships Against Graffiti. What is the
I believe that was 10.
10 total? That's $6,000 each, is that correct?
Townships Against Graffiti is $5,000.
The rest are six.
Correct.
Does that sound good, Mr. Clark?
Yes, it does.
All right. Any questions or comments from, any public comment needed?
Yeah, I have a comment. I'm not sure about Levittown Continental. They're the only one that's requesting additional. They're the 6,000, then they say cover the porta pots in the back. Does anybody have an idea how much that is?
I don't know what we're talking about.
It's highlighted on the sheet. That's exactly what it says. It says they are requesting $6,000 and the cost of covering the porta pots, restrooms. Nobody else asked for that.
The request is, could we still cover it, which leads me to assume that we've been covering it.
Yeah, the request was to still cover the porta
How much
potty.
is it?
Do you know what it was? We'll need to double check that number, but it is a cost we've been covering in the past.
I know that, I just want to know how much it is, because it sounds like it could be a couple $1,000s.
approximately $600 a year?
I don't have a problem if it's $600. Just, all right, thank you.
All right, we had a motion made and seconded. No public comment needed, right? Mr. Galloway, can you pull the board?
John Palmer.
Yes.
Aaron Mullen.
Yes.
Jeff Dent.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right. We have the minutes from December 19th and January 2nd. Any corrections, errors, questions? None? Excellent minutes as always, Mrs. Pullen. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that takes us to the engineer's report. You're up, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the month of December 2023, you'll see that we've had 1 new land development and 4 earth disturbance applications submitted. As usual, the highlights are in red. I will briefly say that the land development updates are all various progress of construction. I'd be happy to answer any questions about that. The LPC Morrisville, item number 15, that's new. They recently went under construction for demolition and fill. The last, number 42, Sunbelt Forest Products, that's the new land development that was submitted. We have reviewed it, and it'll be on the Planning Commission agenda tomorrow night for consideration of prelim final land development approval. The earth disturbance column in the middle, there are 2 updates. Both of those projects have been completed and are operating under a temporary certificate of occupancy, waiting for landscape restoration to occur. And the items in the 3rd column, all of those residential earth disturbances and 1 commercial have been reviewed, and letters recommending the issuance of earth disturbance permits have been issued. In terms of the township projects, there's only 1 update. That's the township municipal building, and that project proceeds with stormwater management, basin work, and utility work, and storm sewer work.
Any questions from Mr. Jones on the bill list? Mr. Galloway?
No questions.
Ms. Mullen?
No questions.
Mr. Palmer? No questions. Any public comment needed? I have none. Thank you, Mr. Jones. That takes us to the bill list. We have a bill list in the total amount of $3,291,899.47. A little bit over 1.7 million is payroll. About 1.5 million is Rycon Construction, All States Mechanical for the new building, Delaware Valley Workers' Comp, Grace Construction, electricians, and so on. Any questions or comments on the bills? If not, is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Galloway?
John Palmer. Aaron Mullen.
Yes.
Jeff Dent.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
That takes us to item 29, the Obermeyer bill list in the amount of $44,992.86. This is for our labor attorneys. Is there any questions or comments from board members?
No.
None? Is there a motion to pay this bill?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Galloway?
John Palmer. Aaron Mullen.
Yes.
Jeff Dent.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right. That takes us to the Jones Engineering bill in the amount of $313,188.20. Is there any questions or comments on this bill? None?
None.
Any public comment? Is there a motion to pay the bill?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Galloway?
John Palmer.
Yes.
Aaron Mullen.
Yes.
Jeff Dent.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right. That takes us to item 32, manager comment.
Executive session?
Yeah, just to briefly report on the executive session.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Dents, prior to the meeting, the board had held an executive session to discuss various personnel matters. One administrative matter about selecting a time for when the board will be holding its 2nd meeting of the month. The board discussed a matter of potential litigation, several matters of litigation, and one involving a collective bargaining agreement negotiations.
All right. That takes us to manager comment.
Just one item, Christmas tree pickup will be January 27th. It's a Saturday. After the 27th pickup date, trees can be put out in the regular trash. Additional information on this will be posted on social media and the website.
Anybody still have a Christmas tree sitting around?
Yeah, I do. Is there a size limit, like, so tall?
Yeah, Christmas trees over 6 feet or excessively large must be cut in half. Please
I hear
remove
Valentine's
plastic
Day
bags and all
trees will be
decorations from
coming
the
in.
trees.
Yeah.
All right. Board comment, Mr. Galloway.
No comment.
If I
tonight.
could just jump in very quickly, I know we've had a lot of items on the agenda this evening, and you probably got into a little role of just voting yes, but you voted yes on the
I
Jones
apologize.
bill.
I
If you
abstained
meant
on
to
that.
abstain.
Yes. Thank you.
No comment tonight.
I have no comment.
I have no comment. With that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.